Well, you get the job of following a legend at Briarwood. What's the off season been like? I realize you've been there with Coach Yancey for a long time. You played for him, but what's it been like?
It's been an off season of change. I mean, for 29 years, done things Coach Yancey's way. We still do things like what we do just has him written all over it. But at the same time, we're trying new things. We're just testing the waters. We're seeing what I like, what I'm comfortable with. My personality is quite different than his. So really trying to make it my program. But at the same time, everything we do has him written all over it.
For the players, what, if anything, do you feel like has been different during the spring and summer with Coach Forrester running the show?
One thing is certainly different with music at practice, and things feel a little bit more high tempo and up pace, and makes it go by a little bit faster. So that's one thing that I've noticed.
So what kind of music is he letting you guys have in practice?
Our school,
not my choice.
Yeah,
there you go.
Our school is promoted through this radio station called it's 97.7. What's it called? Revocation Radio, and that's what we play at most school functions.
Okay, so it's not your playlist. It's not your playlist. It's radio station.
And we're whatever I like, they're not going to like. Whatever they like, I'm not going to like, because music's such personal taste. So it's, hey, let's let the whole school get comfortable with this, and this is what we got. So it works out really well. But they definitely don't want to listen to my stuff. And yeah, I'm not really interested in
What
theirs.
would be on your playlist?
Dave Matthews, Wilco, Ben Harper, John Butler trio. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff that's not set for football practice.
Chase, what's been different from your perspective?
I can tell it's just, it's a different era, changing from Coach Yancey over to Coach Forster. It just feels like more upbeat at practice. Everything's kind of changing in a good direction, although Coach Yancey was a great coach. It's just different,
What are we going to see new this year from you, Coach, that we haven't seen from Briarwood in the past? Without giving away your secrets, but...
being the defensive coordinator, I like what we do on defense. I'm not really going to change that. But offensively, tweaking some things, it's, hey, this is what gives me problems. So let's build an offense about what makes me stress out. So that's a lot of what the offense is revolving around. So we'll do some reduced formations, do a lot of motions, and just kind of stuff that can give people trouble. We'll try and major in that stuff. But yeah, that'll be kind of the big thing on the field.
There's going to be some boys that are going to step up that we maybe haven't heard of last couple of years, some juniors, sophomores coming up. Maybe a junior coming senior that we haven't heard names of.
Yeah, in the secondary, we've got a couple of juniors that are going to get to play this year. Cal Higdon, safety. Eli Stedman could be a safety or a corner. And then our quarterback, we have a quarterback battle right now between rising junior Jonah Carroll, who started a lot of the year for us last year, and then a rising freshman Christopher Vizina, who's looking pretty good.
What about you, anybody?
A lot of new faces. We only have 5 returning starters on both sides of the ball, so that means 6 people got to step up and fill those roles. And a lot of those people that are stepping in have played major roles in special teams, but haven't really been covered a lot because they haven't made plays in actually playing offense and defense. But one guy in particular is plays a position, doesn't get shouted out a lot, but right guard Christian Pearson. I think he's going to make some plays. He'll play guard and center, and he's a really good player.
Coach, talking about what we're talking about players, tell us about your kicking game and what you're expecting out of that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. We've had a kicker who started as a freshman, and now he's finally a senior. So at least as far as this year, no and all, really excited. He was All-State last year. Looking for him to just have an excellent year. He plays soccer. He won a state championship last year on the soccer team. He ended up getting injured and hurt his ankle a little bit. So this summer's been a recovery process, but looking forward to when the season comes around and he's booming balls. So really excited about that. And he'll cover all 3 special teams for us.
I'm just curious for the players. How much do you guys know about Coach Forrester, the coach? How much do you guys know about him as a player?
He was a stud.
Do what?
He was a stud.
That's one of the things that I really love to do is look at Briarwood history and look at like the old players and like guys like Chase and other teammates make fun of me a little bit about it. I really like to look at players from the past, and with him having the state record in tackles and just being an absolute beast. And I mean,
See, Christian plays a lot because he knows information like that. Makes me feel good.
What is it? How does it make you feel though when he says he likes to look back at the old players like you?
Yeah, now that I look in the mirror and I see this gray every day, I'm kind of accepting that role. But yeah, so it's definitely, because 20-year reunion, we had our 28-year reunion from a high school this past year. So we had state championship. So it was fun getting to see all those guys. Like, that's one of the things I'm excited about for these guys, is that in 20 years, they'll be back hanging out with their classmates, that they'll be with the football players, that they can have a special memory like this. And it was fun with that group. It's like we picked up and we never left. And I think that's the bond that we get to form out there. It's fun. So having those 20-year things has been cool, and it puts it in perspective that this is, it's about one season, but it's really about the rest of their lives and the friendships, relationships they're building during that.
Do you feel like the game has changed drastically since you played?
Oh, yeah.
If so, how?
Yeah, I mean, defensively wise, everything was, bunched in. Let's run the football. Let's get in tight formations. Coaching linebackers, I tell them all the time, I had the fortune of playing the smash mouth football, and then right as I was finishing in college, they were going to the spread. So I was on that cusp that kind of played both of them, like full in. So, that's probably the biggest thing, is how it's all spread out. And then how defenses have responded by spreading out too. And then, there's part of the whole Instagram, all the social media, what it's changed the game about. That's a different aspect too. Like, man, it's just 7-on-7 during the summer, but why does that kid have his phone out? Oh yeah, he's recording it to put it on, some highlight thing. And that was kind of shocking to me, just thinking like, man, it's literally 7-on-7. It's not even real football. And yet we need to make that a big time thing. So
I didn't look this up before today, but did you guys play in some instant replay games last year?
No, we did not. No.
What do you think of it? Will you guys have it at home this year?
We won't. I think it's great. I think it's neat. I think it's really hard angles to get from. Like, you need a lot of cameras, I feel like, for it to really be successful. That's just personal, but there are some obvious things I think you can pick up. But if you got the sideline in the end zone, your filmer's got to be a really good filmer, and you've got to be able to focus in on the details.
So you were talking about the social media aspect of things, and this is for the players. How has that shaped your performance on the field, off the field, with maybe rivals that you have with other teams? And
yes, we play guys like Roydell Williams, who's a 4-star running back committed to Alabama. So going into last year, that's the main reason we knew about him, just social media, stuff like that. So it helps us. It almost helps us prepare if we were going to play. It also can be negative to overthinking it. Sometimes you wish you just don't know who you're playing, so you can go out there and just play the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I think that with social media, it allows you to really be able to follow the people you're going to play on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and you can not develop a personal relationship, but you can identify who they are, and rather than before social media was a thing, when you just played somebody and you didn't necessarily know exactly who they were, especially if they lived far away from you. I generally follow every single person that I'm going to be going up against, so I can get as much of an edge as possible on them.
See, they don't really understand how important the newspaper was back in the day. I know who the guys I was playing because we had a Saturday morning newspaper and I read all, but they don't get that. It's
question for the players themselves. The loss in the second round of the playoffs last year, lessons learned from that?
I play fullback, and it was honestly a really helpless feeling for sending our defense back out there over and over again, giving them terrible field position, and having them come through again and again, but us not being able to provide any offensive spark for them. So the lesson I've learned from that is we are not going to let that happen again.
I mean, that's, what he said.
Take one more question, Dennis.
Matthew, Briarwood has this hugely long playoff streak. You feel some pressure picking that up?
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure that comes with it. It's fun because I think I was really there. I was in 7th grade, I think, when the whole thing started. There were 4 years that I wasn't there when I was in college. So there's that aspect where, it's really neat to have been there for the whole ride. I just, the good news is Coach Yancey hasn't put any pressure on me because of the type of man he is. He's do whatever you want. I trust you. You'll do it. I'm not worried about it. Don't think about me. So from that aspect, there's not. But just the whole idea of you wanting to carry on tradition. I mean, and that's, part for these guys. Like, they're carrying on the legacy too. And so for them to say, hey, you're putting on a gold helmet, you're representing Briarwood, that's one more step that you take because tradition weighs a ton. I mean, it can feel overwhelming at times, but and that's part of the reason too, we want to focus on the moment, on what we're doing right now, and we'll worry about the other stuff later. But, whether it's in a game, whether it's in practice, let's be the best we can be at that rep, at that moment, at that time. So that's got to be our focus because of the tradition can feel overwhelming.